Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, I am going to be doing an interesting video. I want to talk about, number one, why this weekend's content is probably the best content that I have seen in a long time from my team, but also why that frustrates me so much, and what I think the future could hold, or what the future should hold, and what it probably won't, but should in my team based on this. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 30,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day and would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. So I made an entire video earlier today breaking down the Father's Day event that is available this weekend in my team. So I'm not going to go in depth and break down everything, but in case you're somehow not aware, Dark Matter, Larry Nance, and Rick Barry both have their own agenda groups. There's a bunch, 8 new cards, or 8 old cards, I guess, that have now been refreshed with new SIGs, new animations, and much better stats and badges, and have evos to make them better guys who are father or son players throughout NBA history. And I made, again, a video talking about all that specifically, but that's not the only thing that dropped today. We also got an absolutely elite Clutch Time Offline mode reward, Serge Ibaka. The best mode reward that we have seen this season, bar none, and it's not particularly close. Although I say that, Bobby Jones is pretty good as well. But as a whole, I think Serge Ibaka is the best mode reward that we have seen this season pretty easily. An absolutely elite top-tier free power forward. Not only that, but we get salary cap today. Adrian Dantley, not exciting, but Josh Smith looks like he might literally be the best small forward in the game. And between him, Larry Nance, and the Evo Juwan Howard, Evo Glenn Robinson that dropped today, that is 4 absolutely elite free type power forwards that you can get in my team, small forwards, I'm sorry, that you can get that are really good cards. And not only that, the buyable Dark Matter is a small forward in Lamar Odom, who is absolutely exceptional in his own right. Other buyable cards are all solid. Cam Reddish is absolutely elite at the shooting guard position. Darius Miles is another solid option. Now, are there too many small forwards that have dropped this weekend? Kind of. But there is a lot of positional depth now at that position in terms of a lot of elite level non-gambling free cards that can compete with the best of the best cards in the game. And I think as a whole, the amount of depth of content that we got at the shooting guard, small forward, and power forward position with non-gambling cards this weekend is absolutely exceptional. Now, didn't get great center or point guard free content this weekend, but that is okay as a whole. We did get a lot of very good free cards at 3 out of 5 positions, and I think literally just with this weekend's content, you could build yourself a 2 through 4 that is a competitive level starting lineup and bench, honestly, just with the free cards that came out, which is really nice, and it's great. I mean, this is the best free content, in my opinion, that we've gotten in a long time, because not only is it one thing that's solid, it's an event, and salary cap is super worth grinding. So if you stay caught up on salary cap this season, that's fire. And then the mode reward in offline in clutch time is Serge Ibaka. So that's some content from our offline grinders out there who are also getting themselves an absolutely elite level free card. Also, you can complete a lot of other agendas this weekend, like the Father's Day agendas, like Evos, like things of that nature in clutch time offline, and try to knock out 2 birds with 1 stone, working towards those things and working towards Serge Ibaka if you do want to add him to your lineup. There's a lot of positives this weekend, and even the buyable cards being good, having legitimately good player market cards with an elite level buyable Dark Matter and a really good buyable shooting guard, and then 2 solid options as well as Darius Miles and Duncan Robinson, who are very good budget cards in their own right. Like, as a whole, this is the best weekend of content, top to bottom, that we have gotten, in my opinion, since the gambling started, period. I think this is the best weekend of content that we've gotten since the gambling only content started at the All-Star break. Which is a great thing, right? And I think that's definitely a very solid thing. And there's a lot to do in my team right now, and a lot of things that are going to be really rewarding. The problem is they could have been doing this for months, and we've seen it before. The thing that frustrates me is this is not a new theme from my team. Even in the past, in games that I thought, in my teams that I thought were better overall made and were better games, we have seen a lot of this type of content where you see 1 week of good content, or they drop, like last year, or maybe it was the year before, they were dropping Evo cards every single Tuesday. And then they just randomly stopped dropping Evo cards, or maybe it was Wednesdays. I don't know. They've done a lot of stuff in the past where they will introduce something that is a cool new addition to content, whether it be Evos, whether it be other types of cards and other things and other free rewards and grinds and events and stuff of that nature. And we see this type of content dropped every so often. But number one, it's generally rare. And number two, especially this year, it's been basically non-existent. There has been very little ability to interact with anything content-wise in this game that's been absolutely elite this season, period. And I mean, even in season 6, besides free Glenn Robinson, free SGA as the low of 40, and free Dikembe Mutombo from salary cap, I wouldn't sit here and say season 6 was this elite level, amazing free content top to bottom. Like, it wasn't awful. There were a couple other good cards. Obviously, Clyde Drexler from Bold was nice, and there was some good stuff. But in general, I just think it's been, I mean, literally seasons of this since the gambling-only content started through Season 5, Season 6, Season 7 now, where we have seen nothing but basically just gambling on Fridays, free cards on Tuesdays, and the occasional free card, underwhelming for the most part, grind mixed in here and there, with exception, obviously. Glenn Rice's The Ultimate Reward last season was the best free card I think 2K's ever given away, and Dikembe Mutombo as the salary cap card is the best free center that I can remember them giving away, pretty much. But at the same time, it's just, this frustrates me because it shows that the capability is there, that the people are in place who can make these decisions that will keep people engaged in the game, because it's not hard to keep the MyTEAM community engaged in this game. People are literally begging for stuff to do and rewarding content that actually gives you top tier caliber stuff. And it's just, I don't know. I just don't understand how this is really continuing to be a thing, because the gambling, at the end of the day, the gambling's probably not going away, right? Like, I'm not expecting this year for anything to change, and I'm hoping next year things will, but I'm not entirely sure that they will. I wouldn't be surprised if this gambling-only style of Friday content is the new norm. In fact, I would be surprised at this point, in all honesty, if it's not the new norm, even next year. And as frustrating as that is, if you want to have any enjoyment with MyTEAM whatsoever, I mean, you pretty much have two options with that being the case. You either stop playing the game or you accept it as it is. I guess you have three options, because you can spend your money and continue to fund this BS company, which I think is a terrible option. But I think there's two good options, which are stop playing the game entirely and find other things to do with your time and your money, or just play the game no money spent, like I have been for the last couple months. And admittedly, I haven't even really been playing the game recently, but I've said that many times. It's just frustrating when you see stuff like this that could, I think, keep the community engaged despite the gambling. Even with the garbage, there is so much opportunity for these bright spots, and these bright spots on a weekly basis. It would be so simple for them to drop a batch of 5 Evo cards every single Wednesday or Thursday and drop, it's another day of content each week, and they're just using older recycled cards of not the biggest names and evoing them to Opal and Dark Matter and just giving away basically free versions or very, very cheap versions of really good cards and stuff like that. And I think they've done a good job in a few small areas this season. And I will say, you know what they have done a good job of this season is the in-game mode rewards that you can get from the like wheel spins. Like right now, Tim Thomas being available from wheel spins is fire. That type of stuff. Like, there are positives, and I'm willing to acknowledge those positives, but seeing a weekend like this with this much to do and this much quality content top to bottom frustrates me, because it shows that it is very possible, and yet that it is actively being chosen against, that they are actively choosing not to produce this level of free content with consistency throughout the year, which is a real shame, because this game has potential, and there is a community that wants to be engaged. And I think Madden's actually showed this year that they've done a good job of actually kind of I feel like growing their community and building a game and a community that is better. It's not perfect. Madden has huge issues. EA has huge issues. I'm not going to sit here and defend those companies. I'm not defending any of these companies. They're all kind of scummy. But at the end of the day, it's a business, and their job is to make money to a certain extent. I just think there are much better and much smarter, longer-term ways to do it than the way that they've decided to do it this year, and seeing stuff like this weekend, yet again, is just a real disappointment, because it shows what is possible and yet what is not happening on a consistent basis. So, yes, this is the best weekend of free content that we have gotten in a long time. No, I don't expect it to continue, and no, I certainly don't expect it to become a consistent theme throughout the rest of this year and going into next year, which is a real disappointment, because if it was, I think we'd be looking at this game with a much different attitude. If there was consistency with rewarding good, eventful, interesting stuff to do. So, It's disappointing because this is the basketball game, and yet the basketball game we have is just so lame as a whole for the most part. But enjoy this weekend of content if you're still playing my team, and if you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I apologize for my ranting. I know some of y'all are tired of hearing me rant, but I appreciate those of y'all who do watch and who do support. And if you did enjoy, again, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.